Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, I want to let you know that I am not your financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice on the channel, and I don't even encourage you to invest. But what I am going to do is share with you my own personal opinion and views on the projects discussed on the channel. So we are looking at Luder protocol. They do have a pink sale pre-sale that's going to be coming up. So we'll head on over there first. And so here we are. This is their pre-sale page on pink sale. It says here Luder protocol pre-sale. We do see they've got a couple of different badges. The audit badge, they did pass their audit with no high or medium severity issues, and they do have a KYC. That KYC is going to be through solid proof. So we can see that this is upcoming, and their pre-sale is going to start in just over 14 hours from the time of me recording the video. Now this is a pre-sale, not a fair launch, so they do have a hard cap of 200 BNB. This also is going to start out as a whitelist only pre-sale, but you can see that it starts here 14 hours 22 minutes, and then we can see the public is going to start in 14 hours 42 minutes. So it looks like they've got about 20 minutes for those that are whitelisted, and then it will open up to everyone else. So moving forward, we can see they've got some of their socials here, and it says that Luder protocol is a token with an automatic lottery within the contract itself. So the token has a fee of 6% on the buy side and 9% on the sell side, which will convert to BNB, stored, and upon reaching 0.3 BNB or more, it selects a holder and sends them the BNB. So that's a pretty interesting mechanism that's built into the contract. At least that's the way it looks based on what I'm reading here. VRF v2 of Chainlink is used for generating random numbers. By holding your tokens, you will automatically participate in the lotteries with a high chance of winning. It says here contact at real KND or Mario ATH on Telegram for more information about how to participate in the pre-sale whitelist. We also see they've got a video here, but as you guys know, we don't play videos on the channel as we explore projects that we talk about. All right, so here we can see the minimum buy is going to be 0.1 BNB and the max is going to be 3 BNB. Definitely higher than what I consider to be, a reasonable max pre-sale contribution amount. I tend to think that no higher than 1 is makes sense, but this is set at a max contribution of 3 BNB. However, 3 is nothing too crazy in my personal opinion. Now we can see the pre-sale rate here is going to be 125,000 Luder tokens per BNB, and at listing, sorry about that, at list, when they list on Pancake, you're going to get a little less tokens, but again, not a huge digression, from anything the pre-sale holders are getting. The initial market cap, on this one's going to be 109,726. We can see the soft cap is reiterated, or not reiterated, but it is sitting at 100 BNB, which is just halfway to the hard cap, and the hard cap here is at 200 beans. Now we can see the liquidity lockup time on this one's going to be 365 days after the pool ends, which is pretty standard. We can also see so far they've got 327 whitelisted addresses. Now, typically on whitelist, they do tend to oversubscribe just to make sure that they have a pretty good chance of filling the pre-sale, hard cap, with the number of whitelisted addresses. And the same strategy goes, for filling to at least make sure they get to that soft cap. So there are a ton of addresses. They could actually be adding more addresses before this actually goes live, so just be aware of that. So, but again, as we know with a lot of pre-sales, especially depending on the market that you're in, and we're in a current bear market at the time of me doing the video, it could fill. It might not fill very quickly. We just don't know. So it's just one that you'd have to go ahead and watch to see how things go when the pre-sale goes live. Now, moving forward, we can also see, looking at the token metrics, there's nothing unusual, at least in my personal opinion, going on there. So, but that is the token metrics for you on the pre-sale page. Now we're going to transition on over to the documentation. So here we go. And we can see just a number of the slides here. So as usual, we'll go ahead and we'll just preview them to see what's going on here. So we can see an overview, purpose and mission, the protocol. I tend to like to see, at least a mission and a vision statement in regards to a project. Kind of helps to keep things focused in terms of what their direction is and what they're trying to do with it. Let's see here. So they talk about how the contract works, and then you get a lottery system, flow chart of sorts here in terms of how it works. We also see it's powered by Chainlink, and then we get some token distribution information. We can see 15% is going to the private sale, 25% going to public, and we get 3% going to team collaborators. We see another 3% going to sustainability and 13.72% going to initial liquidity, 0.5 to pink sale, and 39.78 going to the burn. And then we also see what they've got going on in terms of the roadmap. So we've got some phases here, phase 1 and phase 2, at least as it's outlined here in the documentation. In phase 1, we see project planning and presentation, development of smart contract with integrated self-lottery system, implementation of testnet or on testnet for technical evaluation, implementation on mainnet for production, private presale, and public presale and launch on DEX. So this is basically where we are right now. And then in phase 2, we see an aspirational thing here, a listing on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. So as I've mentioned on other projects before, typically I like to see projects just state that they're submitting their application, because at the end of the day, you can state you're going to list, but at the end of the day, we don't know if you're going to get listed. Marketing campaign, first evaluation of implementation results, and integration as standard token with integrated lottery, development of a new integrated external dynamic DApps, and project partnerships. So we also see here a little star, potential updates to strategies and new product plans to be released with white paper V2. So could this imply that they're going to be adding more, to this roadmap? I don't know. If the team happens to come across the video, they can certainly, shed some light on that for us. And then we see basically just a conclusionary slide with a disclaimer. So we'll transition on over to the main page, and then we can see they've got their CA here, status, so they're in the public pre-sale phase. So basically, just over 14 hours from now, the pre-sale will go live, as we know, according to this timer stated here on the pre-sale page on Pink Sale. And then we see Luder protocol, token protocol with automatic lottery system for holders. All right, a link to their public pre-sale, and then we can see they're powered by and listing, and again, they're hoping to list on CMC and CoinGecko. We also get some links here, for the documentation, in English, in Spanish, and then the CA and their KYC certificate, along with their socials here. Here you can click on the hamburger, and then you'll get, some different links, here as well. All right, so we'll close that out, and we'll keep navigating the rest of the page here. Auto lottery and a token, so they give you some information here in regards to that. All right, and then we can see here, again, just reiterating what their roadmap is. So it's nice to see, we can see some things that are checked off here, but when you go to their documentation, we don't get the same thing. And again, as I mentioned before on other projects that we've covered on the channel, I like to see consistency between what is articulated or communicated, in their documentation, as opposed to what's also being communicated on their main page. So if you're going to be checking things off here, I'd like to see the same thing checked off, in the documentation. That way, for people that are, looking at the white paper and the documentation, they're getting the very same, format and things that are being communicated, whether they're on the main page or they're in the documentation. So at least here, we're seeing they're communicating what they've already completed. They're not doing that in the documentation. So we'd like to see consistency between the two. And we can see in phase 2, and I'm guessing, these little circles are not necessarily complete. Either it's like in process or yet to be done, but they don't really clarify that, here, looking at consideration, of the roadmap. So, but beyond that, we don't get timelines. Would be good to go ahead and see some timelines, on this roadmap, and what's currently pending in process and ongoing, and whether we're going to get a V2 on the roadmap would be helpful to communicate, as well. So we also see the token distribution information. We saw that in the documentation, so we don't necessarily need to go back over that, but we do see the taxes. So, and that was mentioned, here on their pre-sale page, that the token is a fee of 6%, on the buy side and 9% on the sell side. So they are indicating both of those things here and here. Now they do break it down on the buy side that 3% of that 6% tax is going to lottery, the other 3% is going to sustainability, and then on the sell side, with that 9%, 3% is going to lottery, 3% to sustainability, and 3% to buybacks. All right, so we see here information, on buying the token. Again, public pre-sale phase. So, and they indicate they're close to the public pre-sale, as we know, just over 14 hours from now. And users with a whitelist, they do indicate, okay, they're going to get 20 minutes to buy first. Then everybody's going to be able to go ahead and get into it, once it opens to the public. Now, you guys know on this channel, we don't even encourage you to invest, but just be aware, we still give you the information anyway. So we get a link here to the pre-sale, and then we also get one here to their Telegram. Team's not Photodocs, but according to the public pre-sale, we do get a KYC. All right, and then moving forward, just some socials at the bottom of the page. So that takes us through the Luder protocol. Again, just keep in mind, as we've mentioned here, there is a pre-sale that's going to be coming up in just over 14 hours from the time of me doing the video. If you're somebody interested in this project, they do have a video here, so make sure you go ahead and engage with that. And as always, I'm always encouraging you guys beyond any video content that we give you, here in the video, that if you're interested, always proceed informed. And the best way to do that is to jump into the Telegram, assess and evaluate what's going on in the community, ask the team some questions, and if there are any other content creators that are talking about the project, make sure that you take a look at their content as well. So if you're not yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel, because a lot of these videos are time sensitive, and if you are not subscribed with those notifications turned on, you're not going to know when I release new content to the channel. So thank you so much for watching. That will do it for me on the Luder protocol. If you're interested in checking out some of the other content released this week, make sure that you do that, as we do release new content on the channel every week. Thanks so much for watching, and with that said, you all enjoy the day.